Great. Hello, everybody. This is the Monday, August 10th Golf Commission meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is Keith Varian speaking. Is Paul on? Not yet. All right, I'll take a quick roll call. Again, this is Keith Varian. Peter Sechrist, I heard you. You're on, right?
Correct.
All right, Christine Hogan. She's on but muted, I think.
Yeah, she was here.
Yeah, all right, we'll come back to her. Liam? I think Liam's muted as well. Paul Gleason?
Sorry, I was here.
Nope.
This is Liam.
Yep, hey Liam. I got you. I knew you were on. Priscilla?
I'm here.
Great. And Mike?
I'm here.
Great. And then Jim Alexander?
I'm here.
Awesome. Peter Grace? No, not yet. And
I'm here.
Calabrese. Oh, hey Peter.
I'm here.
Great.
Anthony's here.
Okay. Christine, are you unmuted yet? Prue, will you shoot her an email?
She just sent me an email. Okay.
Yeah, I know she's on. All right, I'm going to waive the Pledge of Allegiance, and then I think we all got the minutes. Anybody have any comments or questions about the minutes? Yeah, that was coming to me. All right, let's vote on that. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll motion to approve. Peter.
Great. Peter, thanks.
I'll second, Mike.
Great, thanks. All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? No. Any abstentions? Okay. First pass.
Okay, I think I did it. Sorry.
All right, Christine, how are you?
I kept doing it backwards, and I was like, oh, no.
Do you approve the minutes? Most important question.
Yes, I do. Approve.
Approved. Perfect. All right. Staff reports. Jim, you want to start?
Sure. Everybody's seen the numbers for the month. It was an unbelievable month again. If you take our total and divide it by 31, we averaged 290 rounds a day, which is just 2 rounds less than we did in June. Everything else was up, obviously. IDs are up, driving range up, and it was just another unbelievable month.
Great. What about the storm? How did that impact you guys?
Actually, the storm, we just lost power for about a 24-hour period. Wednesday, we had no power, and Mark and I operated with no power. We actually got out 120 rounds on Wednesday for walking only. So we made the most of it, and it was worth sitting up there for 10 hours.
Wow. And that didn't look like there were any major trees. Like I said, I played it yesterday, and I mean, there were some trees down, but nothing that really impacted play at all.
No, Peter's crew did a great job cleaning it up. We had a couple of cross cart paths and whatnot, but they had that done by Thursday morning, so we were rolling carts again. And
Gotcha.
I'll let Peter talk about it more, but just a couple of pine trees and inconsequential trees.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
That's it for me.
All right. Anthony?
Just from the administration side of things, the RFP for the concession is out on the street. We've had some inquiries from a few different businesses. No one submitted anything yet, but they have, I think, another week or two to get their stuff in. But the interest is good, so definitely a positive sign. Other than that, I've got purchasing also working on carts, increasing our cart fleet by 10 to 20 carts, depending on the price for next season. So they've got to put together an RFP and get all that ready to roll out, so we'll have carts in time for next year.
All right, we can talk more about carts down a little bit later in the agenda, but that's good to know. All right,
all I have.
Peter.
Can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I just, Jim lost power down there for a day. We lost power up here for 4 days, so the irrigation wasn't working, but my guy's been working hard. Clean this place up. Actually, I'm out here playing golf right now as we speak. That's why I'm huffing and puffing. Oh, it's good. You know, it's things are, the greens are been fabulous, and we got some spots out here that need attention, but we'll get to that, and we'll get to the 6T, 7T right at the end of the month. We're not going to aerify this year. We're going to verticut and top dress, so we won't be losing any time or losing any rounds due to that. But we will be posting top dressing and verticutting instead of aerifying this year because we did it in the spring.
Right.
Other than that, we're just still
Peter?
doing a lot of cleanup.
When are you going to do the top dress?
I believe it's slated for the 24th.
24th and
17th or
25th.
the 24th.
Yeah, 24th and 25th. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 24th and 25th. I don't have a calendar in front of me. But, yeah, the 24th and the 25th, we're planning on it. Weather permitting, obviously.
Yeah.
All right.
Other than that, it's just been crazy out here. Non-stop playing, and things are good.
Does
Now we
the
got
driver
power
range have
back.
power again?
I'm a happy man. Now we got power back. I'm a happy man.
Good. And nothing major from your point of view from the storm?
Yeah, well, the only thing we got to worry about is the couple of hangars we got that we can't get to that I'm a little worried about. But
Right.
as soon as the tree companies get finished doing what they got to do, I'll get somebody in here to take care of some of these areas that we have hangars.
Yeah, so that big one. That
Widow makers, as we call them.
Right. Good.
So 8,
Okay.
yeah. And 9, we got a lot of cleanup on 9, ninth hole on the right side by the green, and that's going to take a little bit of time.
All right. Moving on to the Greens Committee.
Okay. Yep. I mean, the course, you know, I agree with Peter. As far as, you know, not a lot of damage to the course. I was able to play there Thursday and Sunday. And even where the branches are hanging, it's not where people are usually going to walk unless they hit a really errant shot. So I agree. The course looks like, you know, it will in August and eaten up a little bit, but for the most part, I think it looks good. I think the greens look good. The forward tee on 9 has fallen to a little disrepair, Peter. I don't know if you've noticed that, or you probably have. But hopefully something can be done
my wife was
about
on it
that.
tonight, and I definitely noticed it. That's just the irrigation there is just. I got to get proper irrigation to that tee. There was never proper irrigation there in the first place.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yeah, I remember we discussed that before. So. Yeah, it looks kind of ragged, but that would be great.
It's definitely raggedy.
Yeah, thank you for addressing 6 and 7. I look forward to that work beginning next month. So that's great. So that's all I have.
Yeah.
Peter, this is Peter. Is there? I mean, do you have funds to be able to, you know, put irrigation over there, or is that something that needs to be sort of planned out?
Well, I got a good guy, Eddie. He does all my irrigation. We can do that all in house, but just a matter of getting to it. It's
yeah,
that's
I get
a lot of things. I got 3 full-time guys, and it's just a matter of getting to it.
No.
We'll get around to it.
But I just wanted to make sure that there was, you know, resources there for you to be able to do
Right.
that.
Yes, we have the resources, and like I said, you'll get around to it, and the storm didn't help matters much, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people playing golf, so hope to get that.
A lot of people playing golf. And a lot of carts. A lot of cart damage.
Keith, can I go back to Anthony and ask this question about the concession?
Yeah, sure.
Anthony, can you give me how the timeline works? What date are they due back by, and then when do they have to be awarded, and then when is the idea that they would actually be on premise?
Okay, give me 1 second to pull all that information up. The one benefit is sitting in front of my computer. All right, so the bids are due on August 20th, so that's 10 days from today, so next Thursday. And
Easy, Rover.
yeah, my dogs are going nuts. Sorry.
I think it's December 1, 2020.
Yeah, I can't find the date off the top of my head, but I believe they have to wait for the CO to be completed in the actual building. I would say January 1st is probably a realistic time frame, but I'll keep looking.
I printed out the RFP, and it says the preferred commencement date for the first year of operations should be on or about December 1, 2020. But the exact schedule will be dependent on fit out, like you said. So it'd be permits. But I think estimate or goal is December 1, 2020 for when they're on site.
And last question on that is, Anthony, from what I remember you saying last time, if the lease goes longer than a certain amount of time, it's out of our hands. What's that term?
It's 5 years, and it would just have to go to the Board of Finance for a long-term approval, longer than that approval. Okay. That's our anticipation. So.
Okay. And
can I bring? Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. And you don't think that would get in the way of a January 1st start, right?
No.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
Can I bring up a question since we haven't talked about the par 3 at all? I've had a couple of friends play down there, and they reported to me that there's still no rakes down there, that the flag sticks can't come out, and are things going to change down there to where Smith is at this point, or is it going to stay that way for a while?
I think it's a question for Peter more so than me.
I did not realize there weren't any rakes out there. I will check on that tomorrow morning. Find some other rakes, and me personally, I'm still not pulling the flags out. I don't know if the CDC is allowing to pull the flags. I know you can reach into the cup, but I don't know about the flags.
Okay, well, I've played with people who have pulled the flags. I do not, but I was wondering if the par 3 is just further behind where Smith is at this point, or if it's just a matter of the preference or what it is for down there.
All right, I'll check on that tomorrow morning.
All right,
yeah,
thanks, Peter.
Peter, this is Mike. Yeah, I played there a couple weeks ago, or maybe 10 days ago, and I did notice the same thing about the cups. That there's some, it's like it was back in March or April, where they don't go. There's something there where there's not full cups there. So yeah, if that could be looked at, that would be great.
Okay, I will do that tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Good. All right, I forget where we were. think
we just finished Greens Committee, I think.
That's
So
right.
now we're back.
All right.
I think you were at the RFP.
Yes, we went back to the RFP. That's right. All right, so we finished the Greens Committee. Anthony, maybe you can give us an update on the new clubhouse?
Work is still moving right along. Building committee has another meeting tomorrow night, but as far as I know, everything is right where it was last month. Everything's moving right along.
I haven't heard about any delays or any change in the schedule at this point. Other than, I think for the last couple of months now, it's just been sort of plugging away on schedule.
That's my understanding. I think we're still right in that October-November time frame. So.
Right.
I think the only delay going on, Keith, this is Jim, is I think they're waiting for wood, actually, for that middle section. There's I don't know if you've read about it, but there's a big backlog on pressure-treated wood in the country, and that's what they're waiting on. That's why it looks like nothing's getting done in the center substance. But while they're waiting for that, they have been inside doing their HVAC and their electricals and everything. So I think they're close to the schedule, but I think they are falling a little bit behind because of the timber shortage.
Yeah, a lot of the mills are closed down. Right.
No, I didn't know that. I'm gonna be on the call tomorrow. I was going to try to. My daughter has a softball game, but I think so. I'm going to try to listen in tomorrow and just get an understanding of the timing. Good. All right. We talked about the concession. All right, let's talk about the golf cart fee. I think everybody saw that Jim sent a proposal, and we've had a lot of questions about how to address the golf carts. I think the major issue right now is that people are still taking individual golf carts, wanting to pay, what they have been paying, and then we're running out of golf carts. And I think we've all seen that that's an issue. One of the problems that we have that Anthony already alluded to is that we're not going to be able to get more golf carts for this season. So the question that's in front of us is, how do we want to proceed with the golf carts? Do we want to continue the status quo, push to get more golf carts for 2021? Or do we want to take the approach that Jim had suggested earlier, which is to enforce our golf cart fee, whereas if two people take individual carts, they got to pay for the full cart versus pay for half the cart. So, open it up for discussion on that. Anybody have any thoughts?
Well, I started researching the public courses in this area in Fairfield County, and I know at this point they all are still charging the cart fee by the seat, and none of them are forcing riders to share a cart, nor are they increasing the fee for riders if they take a single cart. Now, to be fair, with the exception of Oak Hills, who has 68 carts, all the other courses, and I was able to speak with someone at Sterling. Longshore I was not able to. I went on their website and then spoke to a couple of my friends who play at Longshore. I spoke to Fairchild Wheeler, and I spoke to Tashua Knowles. And, again, they're not forcing anybody to share a cart. They are letting single riders go out. They're paying half a cart fee. And it hasn't been an issue. Obviously, Tashua has 80 carts. Fairchild Wheeler has 120. Sterling Farms has approximately 80. And then Oak Hills, again, has 68. All of them have discussed doing some kind of upcharge or making the riders pay a full fee, but none of them have done it, and they've decided not to. So that's just a little bit of research I've done, which is, obviously open for discussion at this point.
Yeah, this is Keith. That's what I have sort of learned from the neighboring courses as well. I'll just tell you where I am on this. I think at this point I would not make any changes for 2020. I would like, and I think Jimmy mentioned this at one point, which I don't want to create awkward situations or pressure on anybody, but to the extent people can ride in a cart together, and that would be helpful. I know that you guys are already doing that. I still am not going to advocate forcing people to ride in a golf cart together if they don't want to. But I do think to the extent that we can suggest it, that's helpful. And then for 2021, let's get more golf carts. I think we need more golf carts. I think, Anthony told me before this that, we run out of golf carts for outings as is, and we have to rent them. And I think, Jim, you said we get hit pretty hard on that fee to rent them. So it probably makes more sense just to have more golf carts in general, let alone to address this issue. So, I think at this point, I would suggest that we just keep the status quo and then push to get more golf carts for 2021.
Should we try to do something like stagger? Where later tee times can get some availability, could we ration the golf carts somehow so that it's not always the 10:30 to 11:30 tee times that get kind of out of luck?
How would you do it?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying it just seems status quo means we're continuing the not allow or not let. We're continuing to sort of anybody who gets that tee time is sort of forced to walk, right? So it's just is there an equitable way to sort of spread it out to where there's not these feast or famine sort of periods of the day? I don't know.
Can I just clarify? Sorry. Can I just clarify? When you say status quo, is the status quo as it is meaning if someone wants to ride by themselves, they can still ride by themselves and not pay the 30? They're still paying 18 and not 36. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Right. Correct.
Right.
Same as the other golf courses. You pay half a cart even though you're the only one in a cart.
I think with Liam's idea, I understand what he's saying, but I think you'd almost have to make it mandatory walking, say, from 7 to 9 a.m. every other Tuesday to make it fair for everybody. I don't think that would fly too well. I think you'd have a pretty dead time.
Give him Liam's cell phone. Tell him to call Liam.
Somebody's going to be unhappy, so they're going to call me anyway.
The other problem is that where we run into the shortage is usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Tuesday is the 9-hole ladies, Wednesday are the seniors, and Thursday are the 18-hole ladies. And I know if we ever push those groups to go to walking only or tell them to consider playing later, I don't think it would fly very well.
I think you're asking for trouble though if you make someone pay double, and they're saying that they have a condition where they're concerned they just don't want to be in a cart with somebody else, and now they're paying double for that. So I think that's tough to ask them to pay double.
Well, I'm not advocating
to Jim's
that,
point, and I do understand his frustration, and I know that on Thursdays with the women, and I've seen it even with some of the men, that there are 4 of them taking single carts, but yet they're not applying the social distancing rules once they get off the golf course. So I get Jim's frustration, but I don't know. It's a tough situation, and I think that there's no easy answer, but I think it's tough to go forward and change it at this point for the rest of the year.
Agreed. The only thing I'd like to add about the charging the full cart fee, the one thing we have on our side with that is that was how it was prior to me starting 15 years ago. When I first started, that's how carts were rented out at Smith for I don't know how many years prior, I guess 28 years prior, that if you rented a cart, you paid the full price of the cart and whoever you rode with reimbursed you. I actually changed it. I suggested changing it my first year there just for convenience for the customer, convenience for my pro shop staff, and due to the fact that we started using credit cards and we weren't cash only. So we do have history there, but I do understand what you're saying about it being viewed as a punishment for a person that wants to take their own cart, and that's why I think the idea of a $5 surcharge for 9 holes or 10 for 18 holes. That's just that is a punishment. Basically, you're just saying, we're punishing you if you want to take your own cart. So that's why that option wasn't even thrown out there in my recommendations.
Right. Yeah, I think what I would like to do is I do think that we should take a vote on this, but more importantly, I would say let's table any decision for 2021 until we let it play out a little bit more, because I do want to if we were to make a change on this at any point, meaning we were to go to what Jim was saying, where we pay, you pay for the full cart, I would want to do that and give enough notice so that people had, enough time to digest it before they came back and played. So, if we were to impose that for 2021 season, that we would approve it well before the 2021 season. So we don't have to do that today or anything like that, but I think that's something that we can talk about sort of as we get a little further away, hopefully, from COVID, and we can make some decisions on that later on. But I think now we should I do think we should vote on this to make sure that we're all in agreement on just remaining the way that we have been doing it, which is pay cart per seat rather than per cart, if that's an easier way of thinking about it. So any other comments or thoughts or suggestions on that from the commission?
So what is the cost difference? Like, what do we? So we make the decision to go now. We're basically foregoing $20,000 a month, roughly. That's without even considering the extra costs we got and more costs, right? So we're agreeing this for the rest of the year to forego like $50,000. Is that right? Like 2.5 more months. Right.
I think it's sort of round numbers, right? Assuming we sold every single cart in the same capacity that we're selling it now, when the prices would be doubled. So
no, just saying if you looked at the last if you looked at last year, right, and you looked at like roughly, if you just take the number of rounds versus the cart fees, like you kind of get, that sort of mixes in the walkers and the riders and everything. Just normal times versus the unnormal times. It's a rough estimate. It could be less. It could be $15,000 a month, but it's definitely a decent chunk every month. So I just want to, we're making the decision. Definitely.
I think also, I don't know if it really can't be about the money. I mean, if you look at the revenue that the course is bringing in, it's unprecedented how much more money we've made this year just in, golf fees. So I just don't think it can be about the money at this point.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it's about the money, but it does have an impact, right? It's not like a real factor. So I'm just saying there is a money impact. So we're going to eat the cost for the health safety, and it's a good decision to do that. But and given the fact that the revenues are up, or actually by the end of the year they'll be up over previous year. I think it's not a bad thing to do. Right? Given that we were expecting to make maybe 80% of revenues this year because of the clubhouse rebuild, we're actually up over last year, and so that's unexpected, and it's fine. But I just want people to be aware that there is an impact, financial impact. So.
Yeah, we should look at all aspects of it. No, I agree. I think that's an important piece of information.
If I could chime in about the revenue with the cart, so I don't think anybody's walked away from Smith and we're not willing to wait for her cart. I can honestly say I don't think anybody's walked. I think the biggest issue, it's an inconvenience for the people that are waiting, and I think Peter will agree with me on this. It's a tremendous amount of wear and tear on the turf when you have 4 carts riding around instead of 2 carts. So I think it's more of a customer service issue, number one, and a turf issue, number 2. But I don't think we've lost. I can't even remember a person saying, "Okay, I'll walk instead of waiting for a cart." I mean, they wait for their cart and they don't leave the golf course, so it's not costing us. We're not losing any revenue. It's more of a customer service issue and a turf issue.
Jim, what would you estimate you need in terms of more carts? Are we like 10 carts short? Would that make all the difference?
when we had the rental carts, we had 10 rental carts, and we still got to days where there was a 5-minute wait. We never had a 15-minute, half-hour wait like we do now, so 10 would work. I think the thing we have to look at when we start talking about carts is one of the ideas when we built the new clubhouse was try to pursue more outings on Mondays and whatnot, and that's where we were losing money on carts because of having to bring in the extra carts. So if we're going to go down that road and hopefully get more outings there, it's going to behoove us to have 70, 75 carts at our disposal so we don't have to bring in the rentals and we can maximize our profits the most. But again, that's assuming we get more outings there.
And we have
would it be a possibility,
right
and I don't know this at this point, would it be a possibility to rent carts, 10, 15 carts till the end of this season?
No, you can't find it. They're the toilet paper of the industry. You can't find them.
Okay.
If we could, we would have. That would have been an easy way out. And Anthony and I did. We begged, borrowed, and stole to get the 10 carts for a month that we did.
And Tim, what are the other courses? I mean, when you talk to other courses, what are they doing or how are they handling it?
Everybody, like Priscilla said, when I do talk to my fellow professionals, it is the number one issue at any golf course right now. Nobody's hurting for revenue, obviously, with the amount of play nationwide, but everybody's frustrated by it. But as Priscilla also said, a lot of these facilities, Fairchild, a 36-hole facility, Tashua is a 27-hole facility because they have the 9-hole course right there. They have more carts than us. I mean, we've always been on the low side as carts, but we've gotten away with it. Smith, more people do walk at Smith than most courses in Fairfield County for some reason. I don't know if we got healthier people in Fairfield, cheaper people, but we do have more people walking.
Probably a little bit of both.
Courses. Yeah, a little bit of both. But, as Priscilla said when she called around, a lot of places have more carts than us. They're still running into the problem, but I don't think they run into it to the extent that we do, especially on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. But it is a hot topic in golf right now that we're not the only municipality going through it. Private clubs are going through it right now. So if there was an answer out there, somebody would have done it by now, and everybody else would follow. So I think what you're saying as far as put it off till the winter and we'll see where we stand is probably the way to go.
Yeah, there's no easy
Jim,
answer.
I know I agree with you, and that the cart situation is an issue everywhere. And I don't think we should think that next season this is going to be any different. There's just too big a question mark out there as to what's going to happen, and maybe people's behaviors have now changed, maybe even permanently, or at least maybe for a while. But should we be getting on? I mean, is there a way to get a jump on ordering, or should we maybe we've already done this, but maybe that's the RFP. Anthony, you probably said that, so that's probably where I'm making a mistake here. But, is this something we should be, jumping on?
Yeah, I think, like Anthony said, it's going to have to go through an RFP process. He's going to have to talk to purchasing and whatnot, so it's going to take a little while, but I'm sure the car companies are working at 100% capacity trying to get carts produced and out. So I don't think we'll have a problem getting any if that's the route we decide to go. The one thing that I think is going to happen, and it's already happened, unfortunately it doesn't work with our carts, is somebody's going to come up with an affordable divider for a cart. There is one out there now. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on our carts because of our GPS system, but somebody will come up with something that will fit in our carts, and I think that might be another option for us if we run into this situation next year. But I agree with you. I don't think we're going back to normal next year either. I think this is here to stay for a while, the two-passenger cart or single-passenger cart issue.
And do you need anything from us official to get the RFP together for 10 to 15 more golf carts for the 2021 season?
No, nope. I don't need anything official.
Yeah, because I think that's part of this process. Is I think what you're hearing, and I think we're all saying the same thing, is we need more carts. And I think, to Peter's point, let's keep that going so we can get those carts as soon as they're available, which sounds like it'll be for spring of next year. But let's make sure that we're in the queue and we get carts.
Yeah, no, I I agree. So that's what I've got purchasing working on now. I'd like to probably acquire another 15 to 20 carts. So.
No, even better. All right. Yeah, that would be great. All right. So, I'm hesitating whether we need to vote on this, but because we're not actually doing anything, we're just sort of. It sounds like, I don't want to speak for everybody, but it sounds like we're going to approve sort of staying in the current model that we have, which is charging by the seat rather than charging by the cart. But let's take the vote on it anyway, just so that there is an official approval by the commission to keep doing what we're doing and staying the way we're doing it. If anybody feels strongly opposed, let me know, but let's take a vote. All right, so just if there's any more comment. Hearing none, let's.
Can I ask Jim one question? Jim, if you gave people a discount for sharing, how many people would share who don't share now?
That's a great question. I don't know. It goes back to my what I said about people walking versus riding, whether it's a fitness thing or a finance thing. But that's an interesting question. I think it'd have to be a pretty significant discount to encourage them to do that. I don't think saying $15 instead of $18 is going to do it.
Yeah, because it's to free up carts, and that wouldn't be enough to get you the carts you need, right?
I don't think it would be, like I said, it'd have to be a significant discount for us to feel a difference in there as far as cart availability. And I think the most of the people are 90% of them are still taking single passenger carts because they're nervous. I don't think anybody's overly abusing it. I mean, there probably is that 10% out there, but for the most part, I think people are still afraid to sit next to somebody that close for 4 hours.
Interesting question, though, Christine. All right, so do I have a motion to approve staying the course and continuing to charge by the seat?
I make that motion to stay the course and charge by the seat, as is Priscilla.
And I'll second that. This is Christine.
Great. All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, unanimous. Okay, moving on to communications and public input. I moved these together because I didn't know what the difference was anymore. Typically, we have communications at the end when we have in-person meetings and we go through any letters, emails that we receive. But now that we're having telephone meetings, we encourage people to submit their comments, questions by public input. So I don't know the difference between an email and an email. So combine them. The only email or letter or correspondence that I'm aware of, Prue is the one that you forwarded over to us today. Yeah, from Brian Daly, asking about, again, taking care of the divots. His concern is that the course and the divots have gotten worse in the last month. Kind of curious, Peter, what your thoughts are on whether you think the divots have gotten worse. But what he is suggesting is, having the starter or whoever's checking out in the clubhouse, encouraging people to replace divots, fix ball marks, making sure there's sand and seed mixtures on carts, and just encouraging people to help take care of the course. Jim, I assume you're already probably doing that to some extent?
We do to some extent. I mean, it's impossible to do it for every group, but we have stepped up our seed mix on the carts. The interesting thing about that, though, back to walking versus riding, walkers don't carry seed bottles on them. So I think a lot of this happens later in the evening when people are up there walking 9 holes, and they don't replace their divots. They don't have seed to replace their divots. It's the one advantage to having 4 carts out there. At least have 8 seed bottles on them,
Yeah.
So, but it's a war that's tough to win. Peter will back me up on this. I mean, it's just our hot spots on 2, 7, 9, and 18 seem to be the 4 real hot spots, and it's just not good growing weather either. Even if people fill the divots in, and Peter will speak to this, but the grass just doesn't grow back.
No.
The other thing is we got a lot of new golfers because, with this COVID-19, we got a lot of new kids up here, and a lot of people who've never played golf before, and they just don't know the etiquette. And, not everybody can be everywhere at the same time. Hey, you got to replace that divot. Hey, what are you doing? Fix the ball marks.
Right.
I mean, the ball marks are terrible. The divots are terrible. But you're getting 295 rounds a month, and you're going to get a lot of divots. And I didn't put them there. I promise you that. But we try to do our best to fill them, and then it becomes a union issue that they, we don't want people doing our job because you're taking the job away from us. So I understand, Brian, and I really appreciate that, but it's a sticky situation.
Yeah, understood. All right. Well, yeah, I think to the extent that we can just keep encouraging people to use sand and seed and reminding people to place divots, that's all we can do. I think to Peter's point, 290-something rounds a day, you're not always going to have people who know the etiquette, and with the amount of walkers we have, it's just a tough situation. I mean, it's a highly, highly used public golf course. You're going to get divots. I actually think the course, is in pretty good shape.
Yeah, maybe the presidents of the leagues, and I know this is not the highest percentage of golfers that are out there, but maybe all the presidents can send an email to their membership, just again reminding them to fix divots, replace, do all that when they play, and maybe that'll help a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And you don't just have to fix your own. You can go out there
right.
And if you're riding around in a cart, I know this is not really what you want to do when you're playing is fill 20 holes, but if you're out there, fix 5 or whatever.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's what we do on the green also. You fix 2 or 3 ball marks every time. So absolutely.
I wish I had my own ball mark on the green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someday.
Who are you bragging? Sounds like you're bragging, Priscilla.
No. It doesn't necessarily mine, but if you see 2 or 3 ball marks, you fix them. It's definitely not bragging.
Right.
But no, I appreciate Peter's point that there are a lot of less experienced golfers out there who, I hacked the place up, but other people are certainly hacking. I'm just wondering. I just kind of thought about this, and maybe it doesn't make sense at all. But I wonder if we could. Does it make sense to have there's certain areas we all know where drives are landing or approach shots are being hit from where you get there's more hacks going on. Would it be possible just to have a stand on the side that has a couple seed bottles in there that you could I don't know if it even works. People would even notice to grab it and you go in and you fill whatever you did. I've never seen it before, but this is a universal problem. Anybody who belongs to even a private course knows that it's
well, right now we don't have divot boxes.
Filling in divots never even work. It doesn't really work even that well anyway. It sort of plugs the hole, but if you don't do it right, they're going to die out anyway, generally, I found.
Right.
Well, we've had divot boxes out on the tees, and we've got to the point where some people don't even use it. They got grass throwing out of divot boxes. I don't know if that's with this COVID thing, if they're allowed even out there. And I will say that back, I would have to say about 15 years ago, maybe, that we put bottles out there at the turn on 2, and we also did it at the turn, right there on 9. And whether the guys were getting mad or whatever, they were people were just smashing them. They were taking their clubs and just smashing them. They'd be all over the place. So I took them all in.
Yeah.
That's awful.
That's like they do with the broken tee boxes, that they get smashed every once in a while also.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we can't have ball washers, I can't imagine we can have standing seed bottles on certain locations.
Yeah, certainly not now. You're right. I'm just sort of trying to think of a
No, it's a good idea though.
Alternative something or other, but it's more. I think it's more behavior than anything. Than people just don't think about it. Even newer people just don't think about it.
All right. Anybody else get any other communications or public input they want to bring up?
Well, I have a piece of new business that we should probably start thinking about as we go into next year. We talked about replacing the Vermont tea time system, and is it something that we should need to start looking at now so we have plenty of time to choose something and get trained in it?
Yeah, we kind of let that fall off a little bit once. when did we meet?
Understandably.
Did we meet in February? Isn't that when we met?
It was either February or March at the last meeting,
yeah.
But Jim, do you have anything regarding that?
I don't. I mean, when we did look at it, the big problem became the barter system with, Gulf Now and EasyLinks teamed up. Remember, we were looking at both of those.
Right.
And they basically have a monopoly. They have a monopoly on the tea time system right now. We don't want to get into that barter system again. I don't believe. I mean, we actually had it when we opened in May. Anthony and I shut it down because we were giving away tea times and we didn't need to because the sheet was sold out. So I don't think the Board of Finance was a big fan of us giving away free tea times. I think that's where we ran into a big hitch with them. They broke it down financially and said we're giving away $200,000 worth of tea times in a year. So I don't know what else is out there. I guess we're going to have to do a little research. We did look at that one little startup company. I haven't heard any feedback from anybody on that yet. I'll make some calls, see if anybody's using it. But Vermont Systems is, it's not good from a user end, from your end. I mean, behind the counter, believe it or not, it's getting better and getting easier for us. But the high volume on weekend mornings for tea times is just getting ridiculous. We're just seeing way too many strange things.
Right, absolutely, and at our end also. So maybe we can just start looking to see what's out there, do some research.
Did EasyLinks have an option though of not barter? Didn't they give us two options?
They had a cash option. It was upwards around $60,000 or so. So it was a significant expense.
Maybe we'll go back and ask them to give us another offer and just to at least look at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right. I mean, it's something we probably should start in November at the latest.
Yeah.
To give ourselves,
right.
If we have an early open in March, we'll be ready to go.
Yep.
That sounds good.
Agreed. All right. Anything else from anybody? All right, everybody. Well, thank you very much. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to
I'll
adjourn.
make a motion. Oh.
Okay, who's that?
I'll second it.
So, Liam, you guys decide.
That was Liam. Yeah. Sorry. Well, I don't care.
He's got it. That's fine with me.
All right, and you can second it.
Okay, I'll second it.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Great. All right, well, thank you, everybody, and I'm sure we'll all be talking soon.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Everybody.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone. See you.